Have you ever felt caught in the middle when it comes to vocabulary? You know that OpenSciEd emphasizes sense-making first and not front-loading terms, but you might hear from your ESL team, your SPED coordinator, or admin that multilingual learners or students with disabilities need words introduced ahead of time. And it can feel like this tug of war. But I'm here to tell you that there's space for these to work together to serve students. One way you can do that is by tiering your vocabulary based on how common the words are and how complex their meaning is. So let's dive into what these tiers are. So tier 1 are the basic and everyday words. These are higher frequency, like sunlight and water. On the other hand, tier 3 are these low frequency words that tend to be very content specific, like isotope or mitochondria. Tier 2 words are the terms that are multi-meaning. These words represent whole processes or are words that are cognates in other languages. Tier 2 words can trip students up, not because they're rare, but because they're slippery. So for example, the word volume. Are we talking about the loudness of sound or the amount of space? Context matters with tier 2, so we might decide that these words need some additional unpacking. So how do you take this idea of tiering and apply it to OpenSciEd? So first, you want to start with the vocabulary list that is called out in every OpenSciEd unit, and you want to sort these words into 3 tiers. While you do this, color code them. So you can tell, are these words that students earn, encounter, or reinforced? This is also a great time to add additional words that you think should be on the word wall or called out specifically to your students based on your expertise or your review of the materials. So what does this look like? Here's an example of the vocabulary given in 6.1 Light and Matter unit. You can see here that I've taken this list, tiered, and color-coded the words based on if students earn, encounter, or reinforce them. For example, the earn words I've colored green. I've also added words that are not in the original materials. For example, I added the word scale because kids talk about scaled models with the box model in this unit. Now that I have this tiered list, it can help me make decisions about how to support students with developing this vocabulary. For example, the word reflect is a tier 2 word because it has different meanings. Does it mean thinking about ourselves or looking at ourselves in the mirror? The unit identifies this word as one that students earn. That means that students construct its meaning through investigation. So I would hold back on pre-teaching reflect, but once we've earned that definition in lesson 3, I might explicitly provide students with 2 sentences and ask which one matches the science definition that we just figured out. Now take a tier 3 word like optic nerve. It's specialized and might be unfamiliar to many students. But it's a word we encounter, which means that it's provided to students, but it's not something that they have to actively figure out. Therefore, this is the perfect candidate for previewing with multilingual learners or students who benefit from extra support. For example, I might give these words to my co-teacher or ESL colleague to preview with students. That way, when students do encounter this word, it doesn't serve as a barrier to their thinking. This approach, thinking about the type of word by tiering and whether it's earned, encountered, or reinforced, helps us make smart, student-centered choices. So the next time you're planning, take a few minutes to tier your vocabulary list. Then ask yourself, which ones can I preview? Which ones need unpacking when we hit them? And which ones do I want to protect for students to figure out? So it's not about choosing between vocabulary and sense-making. It's about knowing how to support both so we can make instructional decisions that honor students' thinking and gives them the support that they need.